find ourselves in this situation where people don't like us because we're into freedom. You should Photoshop yourself in there because that would be fucking
into
hilarious.
all the photos, like just every photo of you and Matt. I just start re-uploading. Like for Mother's Day.
I want you to do that. Just upload a new photo of you Photoshopped
into you and Matt pictures.
Other photos.
I used to do that for my mom on Mother's Day. Is I would Photoshop her face on Rico Iglesias. Like, she's like, why? This is creepy.
I like how your mom doesn't quite understand your sense of humor, even after so many years, like giving birth to you. She still doesn't get it.
Maybe not.
No.
Yeah. There's still that level of, oh God, what? Wait, I didn't read that all the way through.
Yeah. Do you ever find it frustrating that your parents don't understand you?
Frustrated? No, not at all.
No. Do you try to get them to understand you?
I don't think so.
You don't care?
Not really.
Let me paint a picture for you.
Okay. We're painting.
So
Bob Ross style.
You've done psychedelics, right? Yeah. Okay. So imagine, like, do you like holding your children? Do you like it?
Depends.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like it's like my favorite thing.
Is it hot out?
Right.
Like, because when it's hot, like Charlotte likes to, like, she's affectionate, where Lux is the polar opposite.
Right.
She's a demon. I got to watch a chicken die today. It's like, God, what's wrong with you?
So what I was thinking about doing was, I want to give my dad something really special before he dies.
Yeah.
Right? Because what's the most special thing for me? Holding my children. Right? So I want to take my dad somewhere and
make him
hold me.
Or why don't you contract Jay to do a really creepy painting of your dad holding grown you but naked?
Right.
Like,
I was like,
frame it and have it sent to his new house.
That's what I was thinking about. I was like, trying to think of ways that I could get my dad to to force him into the most uncomfortable situation possible.
But I think it's you have this piece of art made, but it's not in his house. You hang it in the office.
Yeah, and
you have all the employees there, and you pull the sheet off of it because you know he will fucking crawl out of his skin, like trying to take it down. But you make it really high to where there's a light on it.
I'll paint it on a wall. I'll have it on a mural.
And make it to the point where, like, you don't even want to look at it. You're like, oh God.
So I want to give this to my dad before he leaves the planet.
Yeah.
I think that you should do it for your dad before he leaves the planet as well. Like, hey, we want to just you to hold us.
But my dad doesn't get fired up like yours does.
Yeah, your dad would probably
he would look at it and be like, oh, why? like your dad would be on a scissor lift trying to get the thing down.
Yeah.
Like he would himself. Like he would be.
He would not. He would not enjoy that.
Or if you just had like 3 beautiful paintings of your dad in drag.
Yeah.
And you're like, I had these works of art made of you that really shows your personality.
That really famous painting of Clinton, the Clinton
with the saxophone,
Epstein, where he was wearing a dress.
Yeah,
because I think it was Clinton wearing the Monica Lewinsky dress in heels. Like I could take my dad because he's such he hates Clinton so much,
and I'll just put it on a billboard on the freeway.
Put it on the billboard in our hometown of Lewiston, Idaho. It was like 26,000 people.
Ed Hafer.
Or have a photoshopped picture of my dad with Bill Clinton.
Well,
and then make a billboard in our hometown because it would piss him off.
Your dad and Bill Clinton
So
hanging
bad.
out, like
Yeah. I just started a propaganda campaign against
your
my
dad,
where I
of
just
things
spread
that he
information
hates. But
where he's
normal
been
people
like,
are just like, "What's this photo of a dude in Clinton?" Like, cool. But your dad would be like driving up the wall over
Yeah.
this, like, and then there's just, if you were able to like we could plan this to where there are 3 billboards back to back, so it just keeps getting worse. Like, as you're driving.
Yeah. Did Ed Hafer go to Epstein Island? You know, like question mark.
Yeah,
with
question
like a photoshopped photo of him and Clinton. And it's just like, what the fuck?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Hey man.
Hey, we don't know. Like, we don't know.
Welcome to the internet, Dad.
We don't know. Did you go?
We don't know.
We don't know.
People need to know whether you went.
Was scheming for a while until, I got bored. With Derek Carver, we wanted to hold an art show in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And it was going to be a benefit for a big veteran nonprofit. And then when you guys showed up, it was just, I had a bunch of paintings done of you and Matt in drag. And that was the whole art show.
I love that.
They would probably sell.
Yeah, they sell the fuck out of it. I mean, yeah, I would buy them.
Matt and Roger came over yesterday and played music for over an hour on the stage together.
Seriously?
Yeah. Like,
Oh.
Matt was just going after the guitar, and Roger was pulling out, like, he had a song list of like 100 songs, just singing.
He's got a great voice.
And then the guy doing my tile in one of the bathrooms played bass, so he jumped in and like,
seriously?
Yeah, like, it was like a whole band. It's really cool.
We talk about this all the time without you in the room. We want the show of Your House reality show so badly. Like, my wife talks about this all the time. She's like, my wife has never watched 1 minute of reality television in her life. She's anti-technology.
Yep.
So she went to a school when she grew up called Waldorf, where it was like super hippie school where they could only use like
learn how to spinning Jenny
shit. Yeah,
spinning Jenny.
Yeah, it's like
the wool.
So, but technology is not her friend. Like it's almost as if like I am living with an 80-year-old when it comes to technology in the house. Like she's like has a hard time like turning the fucking television on and like it's pretty impressive.
But she's not a TV watcher anyway.
Well, she doesn't watch the TV. Yeah, she doesn't really do anything when it comes to technology. She doesn't really find it at all.
She runs.
She likes to run, She likes to
very long distances.
Keep that body tight, You know what I'm saying?
I know. I know. She sends me photos.
I know. I mean, the photos with both of us. But we talk about this a lot where the reality television series we want to watch is of Your House. Like, I want to watch that reality television series. If we would have been recording that television series over the past 4 years, it would be... If they thought Duck Dynasty was a big show, this fucking show would break the goddamn internet and like television ratings every fucking day. Because like when you were in like drunken debauchery land, where the donkey parade was on a continent.
And I had a dumpster in the front yard.
Oh my God.
Yeah, with a bunch of chairs.
Oh my God.
I was thinking about that yesterday.
What?
Just back when, like 3 years ago, and the property, when nothing was built, like it was all like there was just a dumpster out front. Like, it was funny.
Well, and it's crazy.
It's always interesting hearing other people's, like, after they leave, because I've heard it a few times, like how they share their experience.
I hear it too, and the thing I always come back to, because I've heard it, I'm like, okay, you're exaggerating, right? Because it's not weird. It's a really nice house with like very nice people, like 90% of the time, 99% of the time, right? You have had very strange experiences in that house, as we were like unpacking. If we were unpacking the logistics and the relationships, it would be hyper interesting to draw the diagram of it.
I don't think. I mean, I think if you just unpacked the last 2 years of me, I don't think people would believe it.
No.
Like, Caitlin dying on the floor. Caleb giving CPR.
Yeah, the paramedics thinking that she had
telling the ER docs that she was an OD.
It's so weird.
It's just like everything. You look at everything. It's wild.
Yeah, it is.
I have to ignore a lot.
Yeah. you become like
just desensitized.
Yeah. I think you have to be.
Yeah.
You're probably desensitized to a lot.
Yes.
I've tried to really work hard over the last several months just to really plug in a lot more with my kids and be like happy play dad, And
I've been into teaching them, when you can teach them something, it's super cool. Like Charlotte's and Lux both, like Lux can skateboard naturally.
Oh yeah.
Jumps on the board correctly, knows how to push without, and then having Julia and Cody McIntyre out this weekend. Like Julia's the United States Olympian for skateboarding, is teaching the girls how to skate. Like I've got a photo of Robbie Madison with Charlotte when he took her training wheels off her dirt bike and was like, go. Nate Wessel built a ramp last night, a full-blown quarter pipe. Like wild. in an evening.
Well, that's the same. Like Nara, I was last Friday. We have 1,000 employees, but I've been having a hard time trying to find somebody to. I need a custom mug, like a custom ceramic mug, and so I was like, I finally just got tired of it because I've been asking people for fucking 6 months, and then finally I was like, I'm just gonna go solve this problem. So I was like, I'm gonna take the day. I'm gonna go solve the problem. So Nara and I
go find a place to fucking source it.
Yeah. So it took me 3 hours. Nara and I just kicked around. We were like, we went to the skateboard shop first because we had a bunch of Black Rifle Coffee skateboard decks. And I was like, hey, I need to put like wheels and trucks and everything on this. I need to get these things like dialed. And so we stopped in, got those taken care of. I got her a skateboard. We got Black Rifle Coffee skateboards. And we went to the office and we were skating around the parking lot. Yeah, the back lot. And she took to it like instantly and she loves it. She's like, this is awesome. And then I went and solved my ceramic mug problem. And, that was my day. I was literally just like deleted my meetings and was like, okay, I'm going to go solve this ceramic mug problem because I need a local like handmade manufacturer because the people below me continue to just fucking blow me off, or I don't exactly know what it is. But if you're listening, just know that that's a bad situation for you to be in when I start
picking up the broom
job,
yourself.
Just so you know.
No, Travis.
You might want to keep. You might want to keep that little tidbit, your little feather in your cap for later.
Travis was here a couple of weeks ago. He brought the girls. He had these electric bikes sent out. And
the bicycles, right?
Yeah,
like little motorcycles.
Electric bikes
are epic.
that are gnarly. Like even with one of us on there, it goes. Yeah, and the girls after the first 3 laps said crank it up to the max speed, and then Charlotte and Addie were like at each other, like racing, like competitively, like they both are like angry, trying to beat each other, and then Charlotte freaking completely demolishes herself, gets back up, like full blow wreck, and just gets back on to try and beat Addie. And it's
really
funny. Yeah, like one of the things Travis said is that like because Addie, they do a lot of cheer stuff, so their friends are like cheer.
Cheer. Got it. Okay, yeah.
And I guess Addie was like, I like hanging out with Charlotte because she doesn't cry. Like, yeah. I'm like, all right, that's cool.
That's freaking awesome.
No, them like trying to outdo each other was me and Travis got lawn chairs and we're like, we're about to watch this unfold. And we just watched them do about 30 laps.
Like, that's free. I got the girls a trampoline.
Yeah.
So this is like the other night, same kind of thing. Like I had the girls out there in the backyard, and I was like I had like a few glasses of wine in me, and Nara's been trying to do this front flip for the week or whatever that we've had the trampoline. So it was like 10 o'clock at night, still like 90 degrees or whatever. And I get we had these little plastic bats, and I went and got a speaker from inside, and I turned up The Last Knife Fighter and had this fucking like song playing in the background. It was like Viking music and like beating
throw the bats in.
And I was beating these bats together. I was like, let's go. And I started like pounding the drums. I had like Robo, which is my youngest, Rowan, Nar, and we were all like, all right, follow me. You know, I was like bouncing around and around and around in circles. And I got her fucking fired up. And finally, she was like, she tried it a few times. We got back in. We fired her the fuck up. And then finally she sucked it up and did it. She got it done. She did a full front flip, landed it. And it was like 11 o'clock or whatever by the time I put the girls down. And, Kate's like long since in bed. The girls and I are like profusely sweating from all the trampoline work in the backyard.
What are you guys doing? Watching Cops?
I got the speaker playing like The Last Knife Fighter. You know, my girls are like, I had them howling at the moon. Like I sprayed them with the hose. It was fucking wild. And, I can just imagine. I just kept on thinking about it. It's like my neighbors are probably like, this fucking dude is a crazy person.
Mine have been hot on the karaoke, and they sing great songs too. Like
I would imagine.
Charlotte's singing Celine Dion.
Sure.
It blows people away. We had Troy Knight over last night. He's an Australian combat controller that just wrote a book called Havoc 06 about all his time in Afghanistan and stuff like that. He did some stuff with our State Department and things like that. So he's a cool guy. And then another friend of mine that I grew up with was there. He's a Navy EOD tech. They came in town for a UFC fight in Austin. So
cool.
Yeah, it was good. The karaoke is fun because it surprises people when
the kids
bust out like classics.
I'm gonna have to get a karaoke machine now because that sounds fun. I used to love karaoke.
The thing is Spotify has lyrics on it. What I have is just the Bose LP1. It's like a little PA system and then you just link an iPad. There's an iPad that stays right there. Right. And you just search whatever song you want. You pull it up. Here's your words. That's it.
That's fucking wild.
Look at this.
So
Marty
Skovlin Jr., which don't let the junior mislead you because he's like 10 feet tall. Coffee or Die. So Coffee or Die has been our it's not really our blog. When I say that, it is a news outlet that we fund that Marty runs, and Coffee or Die has been all around the world. We just won 3 awards for
like journalism, awards.
Like objective journalism, which is Marty's going to do a story on it, but you guys have to check out the awards that we won for Ukraine or Ukrainian
coverage
reporting. Yeah. And it's funny because here's the funny part. Like, you get a bunch of guys on the internet and they're like running their socks about, we're like stoking the fuels of war or whatever in the Ukraine. And you're like, no, man, we're just covering it. Like we're a group of veterans that hired other veterans that typically go overseas into war zones to cover war. Oh, and by the way, we want to know what the fuck is going on there. We have like tens of thousands of fucking soldiers that are on
also
the border.
Not like being biased.
No,
we want to know the truth, not like the problem with journalism now is it's bought and paid for.
It's bought and paid for.
It's bought and paid for whether that's a sponsor or that's the article, the title of the article itself. The media has an agenda to drive clicks.
Right.
And when that is your sole agenda, your reporting is trash. Because you're always trying to find the title, the clickbait title.
Yeah, and for us, we've got 20 plus people that work over at Coffee or Die. We travel internationally. Marty knows he has very, very strict criteria, which is I don't care Like I'm not trying to inject my political bias in it. I'm just these are the facts. This is what you need, because what I need is a perspective from a veteran voice that is looking at multiple different issues, either domestically or internationally, that affect our community. And we want objective reporting. I don't care. So I obviously have my own political views. People know those political views because they listen to the show. But Marty tries to do a very good job of being objective. That was validated a couple weeks ago when we won those 3 different awards, which is I'm not injecting my political bias in this.
And we're not gaming for clicks. Like, this is straight up.
We sell coffee. Like, we don't care. Like, how we create value, and the way that I've always seen this as a value proposition is if news and coffee, go together.
Are synonymous. It's morning.
Yeah, it's like they go together like, dicks and vaginas, right? Yeah. They go together really well. Yeah. Like, I like these 3 things in the morning. I like coffee, I like working out, and I like my news. That's what I like. Yeah. So when we talk about those 3 things and pairing those things, like, I want us to be able to cover these events that are happening domestically or internationally. I want us to be objective, and I want us to have a veteran voice. So when Jericho and Marty are in the Ukraine, Jericho's out on the fucking front lines. Well, he's a retired first sergeant from Ranger Regiment. He's got a personal perspective, which most of the time I can think that we can lean our ladder against what Jericho.
He's not going to overinflate the situation because he's used to this. So you're going to get a higher quality report from a guy that is a war expert.
It's so funny because before Jericho went out there, I was like, hey man, so like, you're going out to Ukraine. He's like, yeah. Like, are you doing it to report? And he's like, well, if I get the chance to kill Russians, like, I'll probably stay. But yeah, and I think that's kind of all of our mentality, where we're not afraid of a fight, and we're definitely not afraid of going out and trying to create independent journalism.
Well, I'll tell you right now, I was thinking about this on the way in today, like the bias right now. Military Times.
Yeah.
The Air Force Times came out last week after the Inspector General report was released, claiming the Air Force did nothing wrong in this whole situation with a female STO candidate, which they absolutely did. They've been caught with their pants down time and time again, and they just keep denying it. And then they gave themselves an investigation, and the findings were no wrongdoings. Yeah, great. Well, the chick that reported on it just echoed that. Just came out and was like, yeah, no, the Air Force did nothing wrong. She didn't interview a single person. Didn't interview a single instructor that was on site. The ST community, the special tactics community right now is in a full meltdown. Like, the leaders have lost the mend because they have put this person back into training. There's favoritism. She's failed multiple events, and they just keep putting her right back where she was. And it's like, they're doing it right in front of everybody's face and then telling everybody to shut up about it. And this has costed General Slice slot at SOCOM, over this, the press on this. Yeah, it just came out 3 days ago. He was in line to go take over SOCOM, but all this, he essentially got taken out by meme pages. But again, at the end of the day, if you don't understand the fact that you just have to, you have to be transparent and just do what is right.
Right.
Rather than trying to lie and cover it up and say that this isn't happening when all these people know it's happening. It's just like, that's where the military's at right now. The leadership is catering to the administration because they want the attaboys or the pat on the back or whatever. And the administration has lost its fucking mind.
I don't know if the administration's ever had their mind. They people in this country, elected a elderly man with Alzheimer's. How did they think this was going to turn out? Was this like a surprise?
Yeah, but you see the things that
surprise.
Now that I've seen the last 2 weeks, Tulsi has been speaking out against against the reset, like all the stuff that like we thought the cuckoos were all talking about, 3 or 4 years ago. And
reset,
like,
what do you mean?
Well, like the whole Great Reset, where hey, COVID, they tried to use COVID as a Trojan horse for massive control, and then it toppled in. So now it's like, what's with all these fucking weird food plants burning down and choking supply chain? It's like, there's a lot of weird shit going on.
Well, I try to keep, at least from my perspective, I look at this as our enemies will always be our enemies.
Yeah.
And they're always going to use these opportunities to hurt us where it counts. And China's not our friend. Nobody's into
it's a weird relationship. Like, because again, like China needs the 385 million American consumers to continue.
For now.
Yeah.
Like, until they're willing to trade the consumers for power. So right now, what we're doing as a nation, at least we have been for a couple decades, is we're playing into a long-term plan where there's supposed, economic equality, which is a fucking myth, where, we have, trade, which I think was one of the primary concerns of the Trump administration, which was equalizing trade, right? Which is that we had a trade deficit. How do we, equalize or at least try to balance the scale? Whether they did it or not, that's debatable. But in premise, that does work, which is we do have to balance the trade. Now, China doesn't give a fuck about capital unless it helps them propel themselves into the international superpower that they want to be. Russia is now at that point where they know they're never going to be that because they can't get their shit together, and they're going to be like, China's little lapdog. They're going to love that, right? So the two of them working in conjunction with one another, as we start to look at how international policies and how logistics and all these other things start to unfold, it'd be interesting for me to think. I was talking, and this is like a side note, but I was talking to a guy. His entire job was that he built a piece of technology that would allow companies with thousands of employees to sniff out who their Chinese spies were. So in almost every circumstance where they've planted this, put in this piece of technology, specifically around like technology in the defense industry, they've found hundreds.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
So whether they're witting or unwitting, meaning like whether they know it or they don't, they're collecting information on a regular basis with thousands of people across the United States every fucking day.
Yeah.
And what that tells me is that they're also playing a different role, which it could be not only just passive information gathering, but now how are they manipulating internal process or logistics in order to directly defeat or degrade the United States security? So I don't look at this solely as, hey, this is like the shadow government or whatever it might be. I look at this as, no, we have been way too passive.
Yeah, we're just not. We think that we're not thinking like the enemy. We think that this couldn't happen to us. I mean, that's Americans as a whole.
Politicians are fucking morons.
Well, that and
morons.
The American culture has become too, I would say, too comfortable with security being an absolute. Where, people that have never left our borders don't understand what the rest of the world looks like.
No.
Like, your average American has power 24 hours a day and has clean water. These are things that
shit in water that is cleaner than 80% of the planet's drinking water.
Yes.
They put poop in it.
And they don't even have that concept that it's possible. That why would another country be doing this to us? It's like, no, that's where I said years ago on the show about the food, our food being our weakness. Brazil buying up all these massive, chicken and beef farming, and like to where other countries are owning all our agriculture. Like that's dangerous. It's happening right behind you, because if they turn the faucet off because they want to, like, that causes a massive incident.
I like looking at this from like security and stability, right? So economic security and stability. I look at things from how do we prioritize the things that we're manufacturing, and specifically internally. So domestic manufacturing is a national security issue.
Yeah.
So when we look at subsidizing certain things with taxpayer dollars, which technically most of the time I'm a free market guy, unless it comes to national security, where we have to subsidize internal manufacturing to make sure that we maintain economic sovereignty. And also it's a national and international security issue for us. But what's happened is you've had decades of politicians willing to outsource and then economically support other countries. So they've basically sold our fucking national security and outsourced it to other countries in the name of national security at times. But if we took a look at this, and if we took a look at this completely different as a nation all the time, which was how do we maintain economic sovereignty and security? So we have to make sure that we continue to manufacture the things that we need. Like, I don't give a fuck about bicycle tires.
We don't know. Here's another thing too, is with us being technologically dependent and all of the technology being created in China. These could be Trojan horses. I mean, you think 20 years from now, when everybody's driving an electric vehicle, guess what? Someone can turn that off.
Right.
How do you not know that, like, China isn't embedding something in that phone? Like that there isn't a freaking off button that they have control of over there.
It's guaranteed they do. It's guaranteed. Like, it's not.
These are scenarios that are real. Like, could be real.
Well, and I think that's when not you and I, it's where people have been willing to sell their country for profit, individual profit. They've been willing to sell it. And that's where I think there does need to be a strong presence of government that says, we are not selling our national security so we can have short-term profits. It just doesn't fucking work. Because as a capitalist, which I like to, make sure that people understand that that's what I am. True capital is when you're growing, like in our circumstance, when you're growing a company and reinvesting your capital into the infrastructure and the company itself.
The process.
Our country needs to become more capitalist in nature in its ability to reinvest its taxpayer dollars into the country itself.
Yeah.
And then prioritize their investments based on a return on their investment. So if we're investing in our personal security, most of the time those returns come back. If we're investing in internal manufacturing and the capability to scale internal manufacturing and education and infrastructure and those things, those returns come back. But when we're investing in, China and their infrastructure, well, fuck, they're in a different hemisphere. Like, I would prefer it if we just even looked at it from, okay, this
North
is our
America,
country.
Yeah.
Now let's look at it from North America, because I think we could have a profound impact on Canada. Yeah. I mean, look at this moron they've elected up there.
Oh my God.
Whatever it is.
It's a disaster. He's a fucking
idiot.
I can't believe.
Like, I think him and Gavin Newsom should get a house together.
Yeah.
And just blow each other on a fucking
and
constant.
Just fucking fuck it up.
Yeah. We should that would be a great show.
Yeah.
Right? Where we give Trudeau
Uncle
and
Justin
Newsom
and Newsom
a fictional country to run. Just so
into
we
the
can
ground.
Tune in to watch.
I would watch it.
Like, I would fucking love it. It's like they'd be wearing body condoms with masks on their body condoms. They'd be living in like bubbles, but then still allowing people to just like shit on the street.
Oh my God.
Steal things from other people. This shit would be crazy.
I don't know. Part of me sometimes wonders if, like, this is part of the agenda. Like I wonder with these left things that just come out of left field, like this drag queens at a school, everything. Like, do they do this shit on purpose to make just normal right-leaning people seem crazy?
Honestly, I don't know. Like I have thought about this too. Is like the whole like drag queen thing. Like I don't even understand it. Like, why is this fucking news? Who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who cares? So you got some dude that wants to dress up like a woman and dance. Okay, that's fine. It's weird that you're taking your kids to that. It's fucking weird.
It's weird that you're bringing it to a school.
Yeah, it's weird that you're allowing it on school property that's publicly subsidized. Like, that's weird. Like, all this stuff is weird.
Yeah.
And I think there is part of, like, whether it's the extreme right or extreme left, it's like a shock and awe thing for all of them, right? It's like they got to, like, do some weird shit, you know? Like there are times when you listen to stuff on the right where you're like, well, you know, women can only wear denim dresses and we're only going to have missionary sex on fucking Thursday or whatever. And you're like, what the fuck? Where did you come up with this? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, like
you're like, God.
No, you know, women need to cover their ankles. Like, that's scandalous.
That was kind of like, you know what I saw? I saw that the last month with the whole, you know, Roe versus Wade thing. Like, it was like people were purposely shouting about it from either side with the most extreme shit.
Stupid.
Just to piss the other side off. So it's, you know, the chick that's wearing a shirt that says, I got 26 abortions. Like, that's not something to hang your hat on, you dumbass.
Yeah.
Like, you're just irresponsible. Like, who has 26 times to make an appointment and go so, like what the fuck is wrong with you? You're just horrible at
fucking dental appointment.
Yeah. You know, 26 abortions.
26 times?
So it's like, and then you want to shout that that's somehow like something that you should be proud of? No, you're an idiot.
On the front, it should say, I've done this 26 times because I have a below average IQ.
Yeah, I am an idiot.
Really poor at planning. Yeah. Like, whatever that might be.
I don't plan.
I am stupid. I'm a stupid person. I had 26 abortions because I can't comprehend the ability to use like protected sex. Like, I'm an idiot. Like that would be more accurate, right? Where it's like, oh my gosh, let's give you a trophy. What trophy do you want?
Oh, wow. This person, let's give him an IQ test. Let's try that.
Yeah, because I mean, it's what, 380 million people, right? Give or take.
Yeah.
Well, you think about it statistically, there's going to be a bunch of stupid people, millions and millions of people. They're just stupid and
now all of them have access to the internet.
Yeah, they all have access to like Twitter, and then the stupids get in there and they start like chiming in, and everything's like they're not. They don't comprehend the ability to utilize the English language.
Everybody thinks they're on a level playing field too, by the way. Yeah. Like people that shout things, that post things towards me on it's like, you've never done this before. I'm not like over the shouldering a surgeon and commenting on how surgery works. Like you can't come and tell me how a business works if you've never had one. If you never started one, if you've never created anything that you made from your mind.
It's the same conversation I've had with people in the ESG. People always talk about, especially in the corporate world and finance world, they always talk about ESG. And these are all from people that have never run a fucking business.
But they want to chime in.
But they want to chime in about how important it is for, sustainability and governance and all these different things. I'm going, that's great.
Theory versus reality.
Theory versus reality. Exactly. And that's great, when you're in a bull economy for
in theory,
fucking 20 years. That's awesome. But nobody's talking about that shit right now. You know why? Because we're in a bear economy and we're looking like into the future at a recession or a recessionary period. So guess what? There's no ESG bullshit going around in the finance world right now. Nobody's like talking about it. You know what they're talking about? Oh my God.
A recession.
What are we going to do? And you're like, well, we reinvest in our company. We make sure that we have a pathway to profitability. We hire the right people. These are all the things that, oh, by the way, companies should be doing. But when you go to different states, when people in government try to force in different procedures on businesses, a good example of that is I think like California said that you had to have like a a dog on your board,
Yeah,
or like, 2 gays and one transgender and a fucking unicyclist or whatever the fuck
And then
California
businesses just moved.
Yeah, and then moves.
They're
Just,
like, cool,
They're
see
like,
ya.
okay, fuck off. Like, I'm leaving. I'm gone. Like, you people have lost your mind.
Yeah. Nothing's on merit anymore.
No.
It's like
how do they think these things? How do people think that they have the things that they have? It's based on a bunch of people working really fucking hard towards a mission. And they didn't go, well, you know what? I think we need that, purple-haired poodle.
Well, that's the thing. These policies are based on theories.
They're theory. Yeah, it's a pure theory. And it's interesting that we find ourselves, I talk about this quite a bit internally, we find ourselves in this situation where people don't like us because we're into freedom.
Yeah.
Like it's very weird where we find ourselves at like odds with individuals at times where all we're trying to do is say, hey, we're really into freedom.
Yeah, leave us alone.
Like we want to, entertain, inform, and inspire. We want to make incredible coffee. We want to do things that I think are pro-American, like take
care of our tribe.
Take care of our tribe, participate in the American process, like live the capitalism process, live within like the capitalism dream. And, I was having this conversation because like Vice News has been sniffing around here the last couple of weeks trying to write a fucking hit piece on us.
That's the thing.
And that fucking dude is like some Canadian idiot that wrote a all Marines are Nazis article. And it's like, you think this is going to be a fair, non-biased report from Vice News?
Whatever.
Like, no.
But that's it. There's a huge target on our back because we interrupted a market.
Yeah.
And when we took market share,
and we continue to take it.
And like we're, the cans are the fastest growing by popularity right now in the country. Like, it's funny because I've heard from so many people, they say how good our canned coffee is.
Correct.
And then I bought every other canned coffee last week and realized why. Like, they suck.
It's gross.
Like, it's really gross.
It's
I
really
couldn't
gross.
finish
It's gross.
some of them.
So gross.
So I get it now. I get it. Like, oh, that's why you guys say you love
I do
our
the same thing. Like, I tasted all these and I'm like, who in the fuck
pick this
is sitting at your tasting table? Because this is gross.
If you don't think that people like these massive beverage companies are not fucking looking at us and willing to invest money to halt the growth or essentially put a speed bump in our way, like this is where we're at now. Like,
well, and every company, obviously we went public in February because I believe that we should be participating in everything that America has to offer. I think when you become a public company, you enter a new world of challenges, but you also you get to mainline America. This is it.
No, this is
like we're living the American dream in my perspective, which is we get to serve our country. All of us were most of us were very fortunate to finish with all our fingers and toes, come back, start a business, grow the business, become publicly traded. Now we can, we have so much that we can do with building a company with thousands of employees, helping define our own corporate culture, helping influence how other companies and corporations do things in the future. I'm sick of hearing about these woke-tard, West or East Coast elite, like tech companies driving corporate culture. I hate them.
No.
They're
I mean, we've had
idiots.
In the last month, we've had people leave very big jobs to come over to us because they were being forced to do stupid bullshit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like put your
fucking pronoun on a name tag.
Pronouns on your fucking name tag.
And then saying you have to. What?
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Like, fuck off. Well, for the less than 1% of the entire population that gives a shit about this, or you could just put your name on it.
Or your name.
Like normal.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll call you Andy.
Yeah. I'll call you. Tell me what your name is. If you want me to call you Marge or Marty, I don't care. Just tell me what your name is. But I don't need to
I don't need to know.
litany of your other
bullshit
nouns and pronouns and whether or not you identify as a dolphin or a desk. I don't care. I just don't care.
Dolphin or a desk.
I don't care.
Me and
It's like, do you show up on time and do you deliver results? Are you positive, professional, and polite? Can you fucking deliver a product on time? Like, that's it.
Yes.
I don't care what you're doing with your genitalia. I don't care. Like, I really
It's not anybody's business.
It's not my business. I don't care. I don't care.
Go away.
Yeah. So it's like, but there's a group of people that constantly want us to care.
Yeah, they just want to keep shouting it.
Like, but care about my penis. I'm like, I don't care about your penis, man. Like, I don't care. Like, leave me alone. Like,
I mean, I'll smell it. Like,
I don't care.
I'll smell it, but
yeah. It's like, and then, but now I think at times where you're like, please, for the love of God, don't allow the idiots in government to start
making policy
around how I have to care about other people's genitalia. I don't care. Like, it's dumb. It's a super dumb conversation for dum-dums. So it's like, or we can talk about sophisticated nuance of, macro and micro levels of the economy and building a better country. And
the James Webb Telescope. We could talk about that.
We talk about stuff that's interesting. Like stop talking
We're
about
like 2 weeks away from the first image.
Yeah.
6th July, I think, is when it comes.
Yeah, it's like,
I'm so excited.
We can talk about, like, there's a million other things. They discovered, like, microtoxins and plastics in the deepest parts of the ocean in Antarctica and also in the ice, right? And I'm like, man, that kind of sucks. Like, as a guy that, like, I truly do care about the environment as well, where I hate the fact that the left has somehow hijacked the fact that we can't really care about clean air and clean water and like awesome, environment.
Yeah.
Because
they had to weaponize it.
They had to weaponize it for political purposes. But like, that's a more interesting conversation to me is, how do we eliminate, our garbage internationally, which is from America's
that's the thing. America is less than 1%.
Exactly.
And we're not talking about that.
We're not talking.
Like, we're the only ones that hold ourselves accountable. But great, nobody else is.
Nobody else is. Like, and who else? And who is?
94% of the pollution in the oceans is coming from Asia.
Yeah. China.
And India.
And all of the, like, China and India. So it's like, or how about we, once again, go back to economic sovereignty.
This goes back to
balance.
Theory versus fact and reality.
Right.
Like, it's like the left operates on theory constantly. And fake theory at that. Like, not even correct theory.
No, it's like they're living in a weird. What was that game back in the day that everybody used to play? I never played it, but it's called The Sims or something like
Sims.
that. It's like they're living in a weird alternate reality, playing like socialist sim, and they're like, see, it works in my artificial reality from my basement of my house.
I don't know what the end game is, though. Like, does every leftist, like, do they just want to be controlled, told when they can go outside and what they can do? Like, is that it? Are these a bunch of masochists?
I think they want every city to look like they are so, like, there's a part of this country that is so driven by fear. They want every city, every municipality, everything to look like a maximum security prison, to where they forfeit all of their liberty, and they just like get the yard rights for twice a day.
It's like Portland and San Francisco don't look. People are leaving.
It's gross
because it's disgusting.
It's gross,
and they've fucked it up.
Yeah.
Like, but nobody is held accountable for it. Like, it's like you should be fucking hurling your mayor into the ocean. Like,
yeah, they should.
Yeah.
But, I mean, like, when you think about, like, Chicago, that place.
Lightfoot is not like. Why isn't she in jail? Like,
I don't know why these people aren't in jail. Like, every time they force the last couple years of
cops killed, that
mask mandates and all this other shit that they were shoving down their population, shutting down businesses, and it's like, how are you people still? Arguably, I don't understand why they're still in control. And the other thing is why do people want to capitulate?
Yeah. Why aren't they just being recalled?
Control?
Like,
just going
recall that fucking idiot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, what was it? Nancy Pelosi's husband
just got a DUI.
Got a Dewey.
Yeah.
And they didn't release any of the dash cam footage or anything in California related to any of it. Can you imagine if, like, somebody like, Cruz or Crenshaw, one of their spouses got a Dewey in California, like that shit would have been all
it would have been playing over
anybody, like over and over and over, like over and over and over again. But yeah, that shows you like just how powerful some of these people.
They actually listen. I don't know why people listen. Like you don't have to. Like
you just tune it out.
No, I mean like if Nancy Pelosi calls the fucking chief of police and says, "Don't do this," you could be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna."
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? You fucking stupid bitch.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Fucking.
You're like 100 years old.
Yeah, and you're not gonna do shit. Like I'm an elected, if I'm a sheriff, I'm an elected official. Fuck off.
Like who are your enforcers?
Yeah.
Like, skinny jeans, like multiple pronoun weirdos. Like what? Like it's like
fuck off.
The police department.
But that's what I mean. Like people should say no to these fucking people. Oh, fuck it.
God, we would be way better if people were just like, we're just not going to do that. Yeah, that's not a very good idea. We're just not going to do that. Like,
well, I have a friend recently that's an E9, and he fucking got into a scuffle with an 08,
like a physical fist fight.
No, like a called him an idiot.
Oh man, I respect the shit out of that.
And then that general tried to go above and like get him removed or whatever, and they were like, "What? Why? Like, because he hurt your feelings,
right?
Like, why did he call you an idiot?
Were you being an idiot?
Were you being an idiot?" like people like to use their fucking power when they have it to inflict a win, and that's how you know you've lost.
This is where I will be on board. If I can define your pronouns, I might actually be on board with that.
If I get to pick them.
If I get to pick them, I might be fucking cool with that. Like, you get to pick them. It's like allowing you to pick, like, your superhero name. It's like, oh, I'm Green Lantern. No, you're just diarrhea pants.
Oh, like Luttrell. I was with Marcus Luttrell last week, and their next Team Never Quit golf fundraiser that they do.
Yeah.
The last place team has to park their daily driver and drive something Marcus purchased for them.
Oh, that's great. So good.
It's like a shitty Corolla or something like that. So if you come in last, here's your new car for a year.
For a year?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He was on these it was really funny because me and Caleb were down there, and he's on these like bets with his friends where like he made a bet with one of his buddies, and whoever lost had to do a book report and present it to him. Like,
well, on what book?
He gets to pick.
Oh, that's great.
So he's like,
I was talking to Mike the cop yesterday.
Yeah.
What's his last name?
I don't know.
No.
The cop?
Yeah, Mike the cop.
The cop. Yeah, it's
Mike
THECOP.
We were talking, and he's like, man, I read Tim Kennedy's book. It was actually really good. And I was like, huh. Look at you. Actually really good. He's like, no, man, it's just kind of surprising. I'm like, once again, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? Like, do you think like Tim was just like an idiot? And he's like, well, no. I'm like, but kind of, because you're like, it's actually really good. And I was just joking. He's joking around, but it is good. Like Scars and Stripes, like Tim's book is fucking great. And another really cool, internet caveat to this is, there's this like section of the internet that just loves to hate Tim, right? There's a section of the internet that loves to fucking hate me, which I don't really give a shit. I love Tim. He's fucking rad. Like Tim fires me up. Like,
Tim's
that dude
fun.
is so
He's
much fucking fun, and he's
very
so
positive
and motivating. Like
there's a lot of energy.
To give back to the fucking community all the goddamn time. And I'm like, wow. So if people don't like Tim, people are just unhappy. They're just like unhappy, miserable sacks of shit.
Well, it's also, it's an armchair quarterback thing where people want to shoot holes in something Tim did. They didn't like the way he did it. But it's just like, guys, there's no fucking handbook for how to be on the internet or what to do what we're doing. Like there was nobody like Marcus Luttrell was telling me like when he finished filming the movie, Kurt Russell actually sat him down and was like gave him this talk for an hour of what fame was going to be like and how to live with it and how to process it correctly and how not to get You know, one of the things that Kurt told him, he was like, everyone is going to want something from you. Like everybody wants your time, your eyes, your backing. He's like, and this is going to be the hardest thing for you to adjust to. And here's how you can do it. So it's like, we didn't get anything like that.
No.
I'm still an E6.
Yeah. I'm still an E7. Like, it's so funny because I was telling this to somebody the other day. We were talking about how, it was because of the story that Coffee or Die did with one of our former employees. Like, we went and we had a lawsuit with them. But then we worked it out, right? We worked it out. And his attorney was trying to get him to, frame up some of our sense of humor as like harassment. And I was like, you guys, I was talking to the group, and I was like, listen, I was putting bullets in people for a living less than a decade ago. That was my job. Like putting people in bags, like bagging and tagging, like that's how we define success.
And then you think you're going to come home and just
I'm going to be like,
be a pretty little package.
I'm going to come home and be a corporate executive. That's going to be easy. It's like, no, it's taken a long time, man. Like even in a short time of like 8 years, I say things all the time.
I've been thinking
CEOs shouldn't be saying.
I mean, we just had a consultant come through and watch us, and the first part of his report was "Mother of God," you guys. like, oh my God.
We're doing our best just to I was having this conversation the other day. I was like, man, I am I do my best to make sure that we're publicly coherent in the sense of, we execute in priority. We do, I think, what's, ethically, legally, and morally sound. But I use the F word. I use it a lot. And I say what I fucking mean, or I say what I say what I think. And having an opinion is difficult in this time. Like, because out of the millions of people that are on the internet, there's going to be like a fraction of those people that don't agree with you. The cool thing about my brain and the way it works is that I can have disagreements with people and also respect the shit out of them. And I don't have to like be a child and go, well, you vote differently than I am. I can't spend time with you. Or
like, I've never gone on somebody's page specifically, outside of like trolling to troll because it's funny.
It's fun. Yeah.
But like, I've never slated somebody over fucking whatever. Like I've never done that. Like
it's just kind of childish. It
doesn't make any sense. Like what
makes no sense.
Again, what's your end state? What's your end goal? Do you think like you're going to read a comment and change your mind? Or what if you did change your mind? Like,
Like, okay, oh my gosh.
Oh, you donated to Democrats fucking 8 years ago. What if you switched?
Yeah.
You decided, wait, even if that was that, like why wouldn't you celebrate the fact that, okay, well now he fucking is rolling in on the red? Like, what the fuck?
Tulsi's a great example of that.
Like, she's fucking rolling in on her own party, and it's amazing.
I literally saw her filleting fools in the Democratic primaries, and I was like, this chick needs help. Like $500, that's what I got. And
now she's on Fox News, and she's
speaking at CPAC. Yeah. She's on Tucker every night. Like, okay,
literally saying what we all want to hear too is why are we not fixing problems within our borders? Why are we not paying attention to these things? The administration is failing. Like, you need to open your ears, boys.
Yeah, and one of the biggest things that I liked back in the day was when she voted down the piece of legislation that was going to require the VA to hand over psychological and medical records to the ATF when you did a background search to buy a firearm. And she's like, fuck that. So that was a big issue for me. Because think about it. Like, oh, you've been to combat? Like, that's the next step.
Let's see those records.
Yeah. No, I don't need the ATF, cruising through my fucking medical records. Sorry, folks. It's just not the way that they need to do business. Like, I don't need some low-level bureaucrat going, well, oh my gosh, he's pulled the trigger in Afghanistan. Oh, he's a loose cannon, you know? And you're like, okay. Like,
I've been thinking
removed from a mall cop.
Like,
okay.
I've been thinking about writing a piece for Marty on the age, like the age of JTAX. I know it's specific, but it's like, I feel like there should be an age, like starting age. Like, I feel like I was too young. Like, I was 19 years old and was able to say yes to a 2,000 pound bomb. Like, that's something that destroys a fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
Like, maybe maturity should have played into that thing. Like that's what I mean is, like, as a whole, I think about, like, we don't really turn back in on ourselves, like the DoD organization, and look at, okay, what could we do better in the future? Like, it's always kind of Band-Aid on a bolt hole. Like, and you never really look to improve the training preparedness and process in the military. Like, it's always cut, fast. Like, I mean, look at what's going on in SOF now. You know, they're trying to mass produce, like, standard slipping, everything like that. Like,
it goes in waves. It goes up and down all the time. Like, I remember, you know, I don't remember it. I just remember guys telling me about what it was like to be during the Clinton era, right? Where they downsized and they were ripping people out or rimping them or whatever it was called. I forget. And, you know, selection could be, the selection standards could be high because they just didn't need the people. Yeah. And then as they started, you know, having more need for people, then they had to open up the selection criteria. That's constantly changing, especially in special forces. And I think one of the good things that they've done is that, well, within SOF at least, is that they've expanded the footprint for SOF. They've made it a much bigger organization based on the last 20 years of warfare. And I think that's a good thing because I think it allows the rest of the force to have more of a DNA exchange with the soft units. I think it actually pulls them up.
Well, having them do the lion's share of everything should be how it's done.
Correct. Like they tip of the spear.
Yeah. We don't. An 18-year-old, like, infantry guy, like where that has its place if in an invasion.
Sure.
But, like, the fights we're fighting now, like, you got to be specialized.
You have to be specialized. Well, and the other things that we have is we have to think strategically all the time. There is no, you know, our ability to think about just this, you know, one aspect of ISIS in, you know, Western Iraq or whatever it is, which has virtually zero strategic impact. Now we're finding out that the last 2 decades of the global war on terror had a huge strategic impact. And we can't get distracted with, and you know, what I've said is, like, there's a lot of the global war on terror that was, you know, we were trying to swat a fly.
Yeah.
And we should have just not really paid attention. Like, here's special operations, go pursue them, pursue the terrorists internationally, but keep, you know, it's like trying to swat a fly when you're being hunted by a grizzly bear.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, we're being hunted by fucking 2 grizzly bears, China and Russia. So stop fucking with the flies.
Throw a little footprint over there if you want, but not move the entire force.
Yeah.
Let's into 2 theaters at once.
Spend $1 trillion. Whereas, like, $1 trillion of infrastructure, like,
to what?
Internal manufacturing.
Saddam runs Iraq right now.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like,
was fighting Saddam 15 years ago.
So can you imagine $1 trillion of fucking taxpayer investment over the last 2 decades
into the country
in, like, manufacturing, technology,
roads,
security,
freeways,
like, fuck off.
Railways.
So when you hear of politicians, like, talking about exporting more of our taxpayer dollars overseas, be wary all the time. From my perspective, It's like, always put a critical and skeptical eye when somebody that doesn't have any experience and that needs to be reelected in 2 to 4 years, when they open their mouths, they have something to gain. that's power. Could be a combination of other interests, but most of the time, like it's like when you don't have any experience and you need to be reelected in 2 to 4 years, you if you don't, like that's why I'm like, hey, you get elected, serve 6 years, and then you have to leave. And oh, by the way, you can't actually go and get a job with lobbying or doing anything else. You have to go back to your previous profession, or you have to go do something else, because you have to take their ability away to profit from politics.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They all are. Well, this was a good one.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David.